Got it. Hi, everybody. Mike Griffith here. Welcome to tonight's Dog Nation halftime report, where Georgia leads South Carolina 28-10. Things probably going about like you thought they would go. You knew that Kirby Smart wanted to run the ball. You knew that Kirby Smart was upset and embarrassed by 8 yards rushing against Mississippi State. Well, how about 208 yards rushing in the first half for the Bulldogs? JT Daniels, 7 of 10. 87 yards. His first career interception is a Bulldog right off the hands of Kearis Jackson. JT with a beautiful sideline route. Kearis Jackson falling back to catch it and actually throws it back in towards the South Carolina DB, who makes a diving grab. So you can't attribute the interception to Kearis Jackson. It will show up as JT Daniels' interception, but this one hit Kearis right in the hands. And if Kearis Jackson wants to earn the trust of his new quarterback, he's going to need to say, hey, JT, sorry about that, man. Give me another chance, because that was a bad play by Kearis Jackson. George Pickens, 3 catches, 25 yards. Trey McKitty, the Florida State graduate transfer, he finally comes to life. Had a 40-yard grab on the opening drive, and then a very impressive 6-yard catch and run, dives for the pylon that got Georgia on the board early. Bulldogs were rolling in this game, 21-0. They had 225 yards of offense in the opening quarter, only 70 yards in the second quarter, as again, Kirby wanting to play smash mouth, Kirby wanting to run the ball, get that run game going. Seen some really big runs from the Georgia Bulldogs so far. We've seen James Cook rip off a 44-yard run. He's got 5 carries for 98 yards. Kenny McIntosh had a 32-yard run, 5 carries for 53 yards. And, of course, they're going to feed Zamir White. Got to get that junior his stats. 11 carries, 75 yards. So far, Bulldogs backs really pounding it at an undermanned and overmatched South Carolina team. Say this, though. South Carolina freshman Luke Doty, he looks pretty good. This is the second week in a row that a freshman quarterback has been lighting up a Georgia defense. Doty, 11 of 13 for 104 yards. Kirby Smart's defense. Tyreek Stevenson looking like he's a step behind on every play. Just can't get there in time. Linebackers caught in the middle. Even Azeez Ajalari missed a tackle for loss, gave up a first down run. Bulldogs not wrapping up. Seen a lot of young guys in the trenches. Zion Logue, Jalen Carter. They'll flash one play, give up a gap the next. So the future of the Georgia front seven kind of on display. Seeing Channing Tindall get work in there, and Quay Walker. Monty Rice, the senior, nursing that foot injury, see him in and out. Kirby really working on these younger guys. Nakobe Dean in and out a little bit. Looks like he's really working to get the young guys in there. I have not looked at the defensive stats, but I'll bet you that Lewis Cine is indeed the Lewis. Yes, he is. 8 tackles for number 16, Lewis Cine. Let me tell you, Lewis Cine is fast becoming the leader of the Georgia defense. Richard LeCount is out, and Lewis Cine is in. Of course, Cine delivered that knockout shot on Pitts 2 weeks ago when Pitts ducked his head. I didn't think Cine should be thrown out. It was an NFL hit. This guy is such a big deal. I'm telling you, Lewis Cine is earmarked for absolute greatness at the college level. Next year, I see All-American, future I would also say future NFL All-Pro. Really like Lewis Cine's game. Quay Walker with 4 stops, and then a lot of guys with 3. Malik Herring, Eric Stokes, Christopher Smith, Monty Rice, Jalen Carter, Tyson Campbell. So Georgia defense rallying around the ball. Listen, you wonder, what is Georgia playing for right now? I think JT Daniels has brought a lot of life into the offense. I think this offense just looks different. It looks competent. It looks capable. It's amazing what you can do when you've got a quarterback that can make all the throws, that can make all the checks, that can call the right protections. And that's what JT Daniels looks like. He's just a guy that makes the right checks and makes the right plays. And the Georgia offense, I think JT Daniels looks like a more polished version of Jake Fromm. Now, say this, JT has taken some sacks. He had 3 sacks he took against Mississippi State. He has a tendency to hold the ball long. He doesn't want to give up on the play. I know that Kirby Smart's going to be in his ear hole saying, man, just throw that ball away. We got a good defense. We can punt. We'll make it up down the road. Don't hold that ball, JT. You're taking too many hits, too many losses. That's not Georgia football. So if there's one thing you can bet he's getting coached up on right now at halftime, it's get rid of that ball. throw more of those balls away. JT wants to hold it, make a play. I guarantee you Kirby's telling him to get rid of it because they do not want JT taking those hits. JT 7 of 10 for 87 yards. I mean, this is the kind of game, honestly, if Georgia wanted to throw it twice as much and have 200 more yards passing, they could right now. South Carolina has a depleted secondary. Both of their cornerbacks quit. Another one of their pass rushers quit. But Georgia trying to get the run game going. Kirby said he wants to be stubborn with something like this and establish the run. I think you're going to continue to see Georgia pound the ball at South Carolina. Keep the South Carolina offense off the field. That protects Kirby's defense a little bit, keeps those defensive stats really good. Georgia does lead the SEC in scoring defense and run defense and entered this game number 2 in the league in total defense behind Texas A&M. Looking around the SEC today, I don't know if you were watching the Kentucky Wildcats. We're up on Florida 10-7 right before half, and Florida runs a trick fake punt. And reclaims the lead 14-10. Gators go on to win that game 34-10. Florida now just 1 win away from clinching the East. Gators play at Tennessee next Saturday. The Vols were off this week. And then the Gators close the season at home against the LSU Tigers. Missouri shuts out Vanderbilt 41-0. Of course, you all saw Sarah Fuller, the first female to play in a Power 5 conference game. She kicked off for the Commodores. It was a called squib kick. Some controversy there as ESPN's Desmond Howard makes light of her kicking style. Didn't go over real well with some folks. Not probably the smartest thing to say. So Missouri beats Vanderbilt 41-0. Alabama wins the Iron Bowl 42-13. Mac Jones, strong case for the Heisman. 5 touchdown passes, very efficient effort from Mac Jones as Alabama, the number 1 ranked team, beats Auburn, covers the spread in that game as well without Nick Saban at the stadium, right? We all thought that'd be this big story today. Instead, we're talking about the Vanderbilt kicker, and we're talking about Kyle Pitts with another 3 touchdown game, that unstoppable Florida tight end when he's in there. Man, he sure does make the quarterback look good. Mississippi beats Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. I think our only complaint was, why didn't they play it on Thanksgiving? We were all looking for that game last night. It happened today. Ole Miss holds off Mississippi State 31-24, and right now they're at halftime. Texas A&M shutting out LSU 13-0. And our game, Georgia over South Carolina 28-10. Seeing a lot of young guys filter out there for the Bulldogs. Some news for you. I'll tell you where this is at. You may have seen the news, Dog Nation reporting that Dwan Mathis could be leaving the team. Now, I had a chance to talk with Dwan's father, Terrence, earlier tonight. He tells me, Mike, we're not confirming that news. If there's a statement, we'll make it. To this point, Dwan is not in the transfer portal. Now, I can't speculate. I can't tell you that anybody's wrong with their report. All I can tell you is what the family's telling me. And the family's telling me is that right now that report from 24/7 is not confirmed by the Mathis family. Dwan did not make this trip. That would add some validity to this. We all know that Dwan has been very frustrated. He started the first game. He was removed after 6 series. Stetson Bennett took over, went 3-2 as the starter. We saw Dwan come in the Florida game. Pretty difficult situation in the third quarter, down 41-21 with about 10 minutes left. Dwan was able to generate 1 touchdown, but also 2 interceptions as Florida won that game 44-28. Not an ideal situation for a quarterback to come in on. But I think if you're Dwan Mathis and you don't travel to this game and you see JT Daniels throw for 400, I think the writing's on the wall that it's going to be a while before Dwan would have an opportunity to be a quarterback at Georgia again. So that's the question now. Does Dwan maybe want to stick around and move to receiver? I think that Dwan with 6'6" and 210 and 10.8 speed, we saw what he did in a G-Day game, catching a touchdown pass. I absolutely think he could be an NFL prospect there. But there's people in his ear telling him he can play quarterback at their school. He's being recruited by Big Ten schools. I've got sources on that. I've reported that Michigan State, one of the schools, has shown reported interest. That's really not supposed to happen until he's in the portal. The interest doesn't necessarily have to be official. I've got a lot of friends in Michigan, and I just kind of know what's going on. And they've been chasing Dwan Mathis for a while. Remember, Dwan was once committed to Michigan State. Mel Tucker, now the Michigan State head coach. Would Mel really do that to Kirby? Sure he would. maybe not Mel, but obviously somebody from Michigan State among the schools interested in Dwan as a quarterback. I personally think if Dwan goes to another Power 5 school, he's probably going to have to play behind somebody and deal with quarterback politics there. But right now, Dwan Mathis sitting at home, not on this trip with his team, reports that he's leaving the team, reports that he's going to be in the transfer portal. The family says not yet. We'll see what happens right now. Very fluid situation, but not a warm and fuzzy situation as far as Dwan Mathis and George. Difficult situation. We said for a long time we thought one of those quarterbacks might leave. Would it be Carson Beck? Would it be Dwan Mathis? Would it be Stetson Bennett? It could be Dwan Mathis. We will stay tuned. We will keep you updated on that story as the news happens. I have not heard from Terrence Mathis since before the game, not necessarily anticipating hearing from him again tonight. I think they're going to probably talk to Dwan. Big question, does Georgia get up by enough points for Carson Beck to play tonight? The freshman from Florida has not debuted yet. He's on this trip. Those reps could help. This isn't a season where playing actually affects your credibility. This is a free year for everybody. You think that maybe if Georgia gets up by enough points, they might want to play Carson Beck. On the other hand, the air raid is predicated on timing, and JT Daniels has only been working with the first team for 2.5 weeks. He's still trying to get the timing down with his different receivers and get a feel for this offense. If you're Kirby Smart, do you keep the hammer down on the offense and let JT get comfortable with his receivers? Or do you work on your number 3 quarterback? Because Stetson Bennett's the number 2. We'll see what Kirby does. So far, it's a lot of running the football. It's a lot of Zamir White doing what they can for Zamir. The kid has worked hard, and they certainly want to make him look as good as possible. So that'll do it for our halftime show. After the game, I will be doing the post-game show along with Brandon Adams. I'm looking forward to working with BA tonight after the game, breaking it all down for you. Connor Riley will be giving you the Kirby Smart story. Connor will also do an instant observations post. I'll do a game ball post. Who would get the game ball for Georgia right now? Who would it be? I might lean towards James Cook, but it's early. I think it's wide open, just like that Heisman race, right? Wide open at this stage for the Heisman, wide open for the Georgia game ball. I hope you guys enjoy the second half, watching Georgia, South Carolina. For Dog Nation, I'm Mike Griffith. I'll see you after the game.